We have 11 amazing restaurants featuring a wide variety for every price range and appetite. South Point's Garden Buffet has something for everyone at unbeatable prices. Or, if hunger strikes in the middle of the night, join us at Coronado Cafe. The American menu offers breakfast, lunch, or dinner 24 hours a day, plus a Chinese kitchen for authentic Chinese dishes from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. From steak and eggs to wonton soup, it's fast and friendly service 24/7. When you need a quick pick-me-up, you can find it at our state-of-the-art Starbucks just inside the main South Point entrance. Order ahead with the Starbucks app for easy mobile order pickups. Or enjoy your favorites in the relaxing dining area anytime, day or night. If you love Mexican food, Baja Miguel's has all of your south-of-the-border favorites. There are dozens of classics to choose from, like fajitas, ceviche, chimichangas, tacos, and more. And for spirit lovers, Baja's colorful non-smoking tequila bar is right outside.
Hi, I'm Kurt Angle. I represented the United States in the Olympics in 1996 and won a gold medal. Then I parlayed that into a pro wrestling career. I saw a commercial a few years ago.
Tunnel to Towers Foundation made a promise.
The Tunnel to Towers Foundation is paying off the mortgages for Gold Star families with young children. I thought, this is really cool. I want to be a part of it. My dad served in the Army for 30 years. We didn't have a lot of money, but he made sure we had what we needed. He set a great example for all of us. He died in a construction accident my freshman year in high school. When he died, we didn't have any income coming in, and we ended up being forced to move out of our house. I was devastated. So I understand what these families are going through, and to have an organization like Tunnel to Towers come in and pick you up and carry you and give you a home to live in, I think that's just amazing. I'd like to ask you to donate $11 a month to support these efforts by going to t2t.org or calling 1-844-BRAVEST.
The following is a Race Day Las Vegas presentation in association with Siraco Productions Limited on the Race Day Las Vegas Radio Network.
Live from the gaming capital of the world, time for Race Day Las Vegas, covering the sport of kings with a Las Vegas perspective. Now to the race desk with your host, Ralph Siraco.
From the backstretch to the turf club, at the racebooks and on the internet, to all horse players around the world, a good morning.
Okie dokie. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Race Day Las Vegas radio program as we start another week covering the great sport of kings, Las Vegas style, here in Las Vegas, in your gaming capital at the South Point Hotel Casino Complex on Las Vegas Boulevard. And, of course, the South Point Streaming Network at YouTube. We welcome you to the show, as well as all of you listening to us on our local radio station here in town, Sports Talk 1400 AM, 107.1 FM, and all of our other platforms that we have, websites, apps for your devices, podcasting, locations, just a whole bunch of other places. So however, wherever, whenever, welcome to the Race Day Show for this Wednesdays. We begin another racing week here in Las Vegas. Getting a little warmer here in Vegas. 47 degrees right now outside, and we're going to get up to 71 today here in Las Vegas. It's going to be nice. As a matter of fact, this is the kind of temperatures we're going to have, the span of temperatures we're going to have for the rest of the week, in case you're planning now to maybe come up here for the weekend at Las Vegas and enjoy all that we have to offer. That's going to be kind of like the weather that we have here. And it looks like across the country, as far as live racing today, there's some action going on in Ohio and Kentucky and Tennessee, right down there in Mississippi, etc. And there's a system in the southeast that's moving towards the Atlantic Ocean, so there'll be some Some kind of tricky weather going on in the southeast today. As far up, really, as New York City. But there's no racing at Aqueduct either today, so that's okay. As far as the temperatures are concerned, for the rest of the country, you got 77 in Miami, you got 51 in New York, 35 in Chicago. That's going to be high there in Chicago today, 35. It's really windy in the Midwest, South Midwest, Texas, getting a lot of wind there, etc. Los Angeles, a beautiful 82 degrees today, going to be in L.A., with no racing. So, but it'll be a beautiful day if you want to go out to the beach. As I say, here in Las Vegas, we're going to get up to 71. May get as high as 75 degrees today here. In Phoenix, Arizona, 79, which they tied Brownville, Texas, as the hottest spot in the country today at 79 degrees. Actually, Los Angeles is 82, so it's even hotter than Brownsville, Texas today. How about that? Los Angeles, 82 degrees today. Boy, beautiful day. It's so bad that they are not having racing today. However, they do have holiday racing coming up on Monday when racing resumes at Santa Anita tomorrow with the makeup Thursday. They're going to have a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday racing. There's going to be a special Monday racing for the Martin Luther King holiday in Southern California and some other places, I would imagine, as well. We will not have a Monday race day show, however. Okay. So that's kind of like the weather and setting it up for you across the country. Coming up this weekend, big racing card at Fairgrounds. On Saturday at Fairgrounds, there's going to be 6 stakes races, highlighted by 2 races that will have Kentucky Derby and Kentucky Oaks points to them. The Lecomte, which is the beginning of the series to the Louisiana Derby down there at the Fairgrounds, has 20 points for the leaderboard in the Kentucky Derby up for grabs. The Lecomte has Kentucky Derby points, and we'll get to that a little bit later on. We'll take just a quick look at that race a little bit later with Jonathan Hardoon. The Silver Bullet Day for 3-year-old fillies also has 20 Kentucky Oaks points attached to it. It's a smaller field there. We'll take a look at that as well. But those 2 stakes races highlight 6 stakes races on a Fairgrounds racing card that will have, 13, 14 races there on Saturday. Big day of racing down at the Fairgrounds in New Orleans. Santa Anita will have Cal Cup Day on Saturday. Santa Anita has 5 stakes races there, Cal Cup stakes races. They are the Cal Cup Derby, the Cal Cup Oaks, the Cal Cup Sprint, the Cal Cup Turf Sprint, and the Cal Cup Classic. That'll all be on Saturday at Santa Anita. Laurel Park will check in with 4 stakes races. Gulfstream Park will have 2 Sunshine stakes races, the Sunshine Sprint and the Sunshine Turf. And then, of course, Aqueduct and Turfway Park will have also a stakes race apiece. As far as Sunday is concerned, leading into the Martin Luther King holiday of Monday, there's only one racetrack that has any stakes races at all. That's Sunland Park. Sunland Park has 4 stakes races on Sunday. And, of course, and then we'll go into Monday, the Martin Luther King holiday, the beginning of next week. But it'll be a run through the weekend to the holiday Monday. All right, taking a look at some news around the country. CAW. All right, here's the deal. There is a congressman, Matt Lehman. Matt Lehman is a congressman in Kentucky. He is introducing bill number 39, House Bill number 39, that's going to put the kibosh, he thinks, on CAW. He wants CAW stopped. He said he wants the equitable terms, no advantages to particular patrons or patron, okay? Which means that he wants the CAW stopped as far as their advantage towards regular players. He wants everybody to be on the same playing field. How did this happen, you wonder? Well, this congressman went to the races a couple of times at Keeneland, betting on horses. And he's not a particular gambler, but he went out there, politics as they are. He went to Keeneland and spent a day at the races with the friends, etc. And he said he noticed that he bet on several races, a couple of which he won, that the horses' odds dropped dramatically. He thought he was going to get a payoff of like $25, $30, and he winds up getting a payoff of $18. That raised the suspicion of the congressman. If he was not at the racetrack, experience what you and I experience and everybody else around the country for years, he would have heard a complaint from somebody and just left it at that. But he experienced it at the racetrack. And so now he has introduced in Kentucky Congressman Matt Lehman, House Bill number 39, that it, in quote, says, wants equitable terms, no advantages to a particular patron or patrons. We'll wait and see where that goes. But it's really funny how all of a sudden they get the experience and the light goes on. Rudy Rodriguez, you remember he got a suspension from HISA? Well, his HISA suspension has been lifted. They reached a settlement, whatever that was, I don't know, but Rudy Rodriguez is back training in full tilt. He is back training. He can enter horses under his name, etc. So Rudy Rodriguez and his long suspension from HISA has been settled with HISA. But part of that settlement says that HISA will have vets looking over his shoulder, and if they want to test horses, arbitrarily, anytime they want to test horses, he's got to pay for the bill. That was the settlement with HISA for Rudy Rodriguez. And HISA has also suspended 2 Mid-Atlantic vets for having unlawful drugs that they were carrying around. So HISA suspended 2 vets in the Mid-Atlantic area. The Kentucky Derby Pari-Mutuel Future Book Pool number 3 will open on Friday. Starts at 9 a.m. Pacific time. It's Pacific time now, 9 a.m. Pacific time, and will go until 3 o'clock Sunday afternoon Pacific time. Right now, as is expected in the early going, the all others category, outside of the individual ones, everybody else is covered in all others. That's the morning line favorite at 4-1. The individual horse that's favored is Ted Nafi. He's 6-1. Remember, he hasn't even started a race yet this year. And they're offering 6-1 on the morning line. Now, that's a morning line number. It is not the typical Las Vegas type future book where you have odds on a horse, you go up and make a bet, and you lock in those odds. This is a pari-mutuel, which means the pari-mutuel betting will open on Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific time. The pari-mutuel then will close at 3 p.m., and then the odds will be determined by the monies bet in that period, but it will only be locked in after 3 o'clock Pacific time on Sunday. All right? Northern California doing it again. They have now a proposal again with the California Horse Racing Board for 18 weekends of racing in Northern California over 3 venues. They include, and it'll be during the spring and summer, they include Red Bluff, which is by Sacramento, the Pleasanton Racecourse, and Ferndale. So those are the 3 counties up in Northern California that are trying to get weekend racing for 18 weekends for the spring and summer in Northern California. That hearing to try to get that done is today. The California Horse Racing Board has that hearing today, so we'll wait and see what happens there. Remember when I was talking about Eclipse Awards and how they should give one to track announcers? Well, they kind of did that. Trevor Denman's going to get a Lifetime Accomplishment Eclipse Award, a special Lifetime Accomplishment Eclipse Award. And Trevor deserves it, so congratulations to Trevor Denman for getting that Life Achievement Eclipse Award. And he'll accept that. Is 1 week from tomorrow, I think, is the, 1 week from tomorrow in Florida. There'll be the Eclipse Awards, and of course you can see it on the cable, horse racing cable network. FanDuel is going to be showing it. The Eclipse Awards, 1 week from tomorrow. Congratulations to Trevor Denman. And that, by the way, it's in Florida. It'll be conducted in Florida at Gulfstream Park in their facilities there. And of course, that'll be on the same weekend that they run the Pegasus World Cup. 1 week from tomorrow, the Eclipse Awards. 1 week from Saturday is going to be the big Pegasus World Cup card at Gulfstream Park. So that the Eclipse Awards will be 2 days before that. And by the way, in Southern California, Full Serrano went 59 and 1/5 seconds in his workout, and John Sadler says he's still going to point him for the Pegasus World Cup, which is 1 week from Saturday. So Full Serrano, a nice quick 59 and change workout for his work. And the Malibu Stakes winner, Goal Oriented. Remember Goal Oriented? That's a horse that Jonathan Ardoon loved, gave us that horse as a pick on the opening day, the delayed opening day at Santa Anita in the Malibu. Well, Goal Oriented, as you know, won the Malibu rather convincingly. He's been retired. They retired Goal Oriented. I guess when Jonathan gives out a horse and it wins a big stakes race, they say that's enough for that, so they retired him. He's been retired. Now, you remember he finished third in the Haskell, which I think Journalism won that. And then he finished third in the Pennsylvania Derby, the race that Baeza won. And then he comes back and he wins the Malibu Stakes, and then they retire him. So Goal Oriented is retired. I'm sorry to see that. He ran a really great race in that race there. Some of the headlines in horse racing over the weekend. All right, so we got Jonathan Hardoon with us. We got Dwayne Colucci. It's Wednesday, so Dwayne Colucci will be reporting in from the Rampart. Rich Eng will be with us. John Lendo will give us a thought or two about Southern California racing, and Jerry J. another thought about betting strategies. And on Sunday, our handicappers did well. Jonathan Hardoon came with 2 winners for us on Sunday, and John Lendo came with a winner. On Sunday, quickly taking a look at what happened there on Sunday at Santa Anita. Umberto Rispoli won his first win of the day on Sunday at Santa Anita in the third race for George Papadromo, paying $6.20. Rispoli came back in the fourth race, back-to-back wins for him. Phil D'Amato's first win of the day, Rispoli's second win of the day, paying $4.40. Then the Las Flatas Stakes was won by Margarita Girl, with Ricky Gonzalez aboard for Mark Glatt's first win of the day, paying $10.40, outrunning No Bad Beats and Udi, who finished third. Umberto Rispoli came back with his third win of the day in the sixth race for Mark Glatt's second win of the day. And that winner, Watsonville, paid $11.40, and that was Jonathan Hardoon's one of his 2 winners for us on Sunday. $11.40 for the winner in the sixth race, Mark Glatt. Second win, Rispoli's third. And then we went to the seventh race, where Phil D'Amato got his second win of the day with Kazuchi Kimura at $29.20 for a Justify offspring in the seventh race. Irina's Charm, I should say, there. In the La Cienega Stakes, eighth race on the card, the big favorite, Queen Maxima, does it again. Juan Hernandez aboard for Jeff Mullins. Big favorite there, $2.80 for the win there, outrunning Princess Mocha and Spicy Bug, who finished third. Ninth race, Emicial Jaramillo got his first win of the day for Doug O'Neill, paying $10.40. Boy, Doug O'Neill and Jaramillo getting together right off the bat, getting winners there at Santa Anita. $10.40 for that one. Then Rispoli came back to get his fourth win of the day at Sunday at Santa Anita in the last race with a horse called Struck by Her. Phil D'Amato's third win of the day, and John Lendo's pick on the show. Struck by Her. John Lendo gets a winner at $7.20 there at Santa Anita. Pick 6 paid a little over $29,000 at Santa Anita on Sunday. A quick look at what happened Sunday at Aqueduct. Kendrick Carmouche, first win of the day in the first race, paying $2.96. Jamie Rodriguez, first win of the day in the second race, paying $7.12. Rodriguez back in the fourth race for his second win, $12.86. Carmouche, second win of the day in the fifth race, paying $3.36. And then in the seventh race, Jonathan Hardoon's second win of the day for us on Sunday. He gave us Bramito, and Bramito got one hell of a ride by Yassid Hazelwood, paying $8.54. Never giving up through the stretch, battled all the way to the wire. Bramito gets Hardoon his second win at $8.54 for Hazelwood at Aqueduct. And Gulfstream on Sunday. First race winner, $21. Second race winner, $30.60. Third race winner, $21. Fourth race winner, $640. Ninth race winner, $920. You know the pick five paid a lot with those prices. How about five in the early pick five for 50 cents? $20,118.45 at Gulfstream Park. All righty. Well, our handicappers are standing by, and so is your racing menu. And we'll be off to the races after our first break on this first day of our broadcasting for this week. So don't go away.
South Point Casino has plenty of attractions for the whole family. Catch a movie. Our 16-screen movie theater includes 2 XD Extreme screens for the ultimate in viewing, sound, and luxury. After the show, treat the family to a variety of treats at our old-fashioned ice cream parlor, Kate's Corner. We scoop up a variety of creamy concoctions, including smoothies, hand-dipped cones, milkshakes, malts, sodas, and sundaes. At Kate's, there's something for everyone. And if you've still got time to spare, our bowling center might be right up your alley. Voted Best of Las Vegas, it's a great place for friends and family fun. 64 lanes, a pro shop, snack bar, and arcade. And while the kids are bowling, you can play slots and sip on a drink in the Alley Cat Lounge while overlooking the lanes. For our more serious and professional bowlers, the South Point is also home to a separate tournament bowling plaza.
All right, back on Race Day Las Vegas. Time now to get to your racing menu. Now that we have the temperatures and the weather conditions out of the way, remember, first post times are Pacific because that's where we're at here in Las Vegas. This menu reflects the first post times in the Pacific time zone as they will roll out in the racebook here at the South Point today. If you're listening anywhere else around the world on many different platforms and you're not in the Pacific time zone, adjust to or from the Pacific time zone to whatever time zone you're in to tweak it out right for you so you don't miss anything like I miss Mom and Dad, okay? All right, we begin our racing menu with Parks Racing. Parks Racing has 10 races today, and their Pick 5 jackpot carryover, $94,530. $94,530 for the 10 for the Pick 5 at Parks Racing. First post time for that, and of course the first Pick 5. First post time for 10 races today at Parks is 9:05. 9:05 at Parks Racing today. Mahoning Valley. Their first post time at Mahoning Valley is at 9:15. 9:15 at Mahoning Valley today. And they have a Pick 6 jackpot carryover at Mahoning Valley of $1,771. First post time at Mahoning is set at 9:15 for their 7 races. 7 today at Mahoning. Tampa Bay Downs. Tampa Bay Downs has a super high 5 carryover of $4,455. Their Pick 6 jackpot carryover is $19,415. They have 9 races today at Tampa Bay and a first post time of 9:20. 9:20 at Tampa Bay. Turf Paradise, Phoenix, Arizona. They've got 8 races today. The first 2 will be quarter horse races, and the last 6 will be thoroughbreds. That'll make up the 8-race card at Turf Paradise today. Turf Paradise has a Pick 6 jackpot carryover of $17,653. And their first post time at Turf Paradise today is set at 12:15. 12:15 at Turf Paradise today. Next up comes Delta Downs. Delta Downs has 8 races. Their first post time is at 2:45. 2:45 at Delta. Turfway Park comes up next. Turfway Park has 9 races. Their first post time is at 2:55. Turfway Park has a huge Pick 6 jackpot carryover today of $128,326. $128,326 in the Pick 6 jackpot today at Turfway Park. They also have a Super High 5 carryover, a regular Super High 5 carryover, $2,864. Those 2 carryovers today at Turfway Park. 9 races, full fields at Turfway. First post time is at 2:55. 2:55. And then we wrap it up with Charlestown that has a Pick 6 jackpot carryover of $18,767. Charlestown has 8 races, and their first post time is at 4 p.m. And that is the racing menu, short as it is, for today, Wednesday. All right, let's go out to Jonathan Hardoon standing by. Jonathan, good morning.
Good morning, Ralph. How are you?
I'm doing fine. It's getting a little warmer here. How's it up there where you're at?
It's actually a nice day. I'm in Long Island today, and it's in the 40s, and that's good. You know, you can get away with a sweatshirt today, which is a good deal.
Okay, that is a good deal. Big racing weekend coming up. Big racing day at Fairgrounds. They got 6 stakes races on Saturday, and they got I think 13 or 14 races. They got a big card there at the Fairgrounds. But 2 races, of course, hold points for the Kentucky Oaks and the Kentucky Derby. And just taking a quick glance at that, starting off with the Silver Bullet Day we'll have ladies first, and that, of course, is for the 3-year-old fillies on their way to the Kentucky Oaks. A short 6 filly field goes in this one, and they are from the rail out. Atropa, Jose Ortiz for Sherry DeVoe, Dancing in Old Town, James Graham for Keith DeSormo. The 3 is White Smoke, Flavien Prat for Sherry DeVoe. The 4 is Taken by the Wind, Brian Hernandez for Kenny McPeak. The 5 is Love Your Neighbor, Axel Concepcion for Michael Stidham. And the 6 is Pashmina, Ben Curtis for Rob Atras. Rob Atras has a horse in that race. It seems like a pretty competitive, well-balanced field just by the morning line. I mean, you got the morning line favorite is Atropa, and the second choice is Taken by the Wind. But it looks like it's a pretty tight race for the 3-year-old fillies.
Well, they're all lightly raced. I think one horse has 4 starts in Love Your Neighbor. Everyone else has 3 starts or less. Atropia has a big advantage. First of all, breaks from the rail. Second of all, Sherry DeVoe and Jose Ortiz are winning at a terrific percentage. And the real key is this horse has been around 2 turns in her last 2 races. A lot of horses here are stretching out for the first time. So a little bit of a conditioning edge besides everything else for Atropia.
Jonathan, earlier, I think, late last year, but earlier in the group of 2-year-olds that became 3-year-olds, they said that Sherry DeVoe had like a massive amount.
Crazy number, 53 babies or something. I remember.
Yeah. And so, and now they're 3-year-olds, and now they're making their way to the races. I mean, in the 6-horse field, she's got 2 entered in the race. And so I guess we're going to see that. We're going to see the kind of like the Bob Baffert syndrome.
He's
with
becoming the Bob Baffert of Fairgrounds, I guess, right?
Yeah. So that's good stuff. All right, we take a look at the Lecomte. Now, the Lecomte is the first in the series of 3-year-old races for 3-year-olds that lead up to, of course, the Louisiana Derby. So this is part of the Louisiana Derby series, hence part of the road to the Kentucky Derby. Now, the Lecomte at Grade 3 is at 1 mile and 16th, and from the rail out. And that, by the way, that's going to be the 13th race at the Fairgrounds. Is that going to be the last race, or they have a race after that?
No, that's the last race. Do they have lights? Because that's a long day.
Yeah,
They're
they
starting
do.
at 1
Yeah,
o'clock,
they do.
I guess. Oh, they do have lights? Okay.
Yeah, they got lights. Hopefully they turn them on. In any case, the Lecomte from the rail out, number 1 is Quality Mischief, Marcelino Pedrosa for Brad Cox. The 2 is Carson Street, Alex Concepcion for Brendan Walsh. The 3 is Crown the Buckeye, Ricardo Santana for Mike Maker. The 4 is Exosum, Jared Loveberry for Kelsey Danner. The 5 is Golden Tempo, Jose Ortiz for Sherry DeVoe. The 6, Thunderbuck, Luis Saez for Brad Cox. So Cox got a couple in there. The 7 is Mesquite and Flavien Prat riding for Sherry DeVoe. So she's got a couple in there. The 8, White Tiger, Ired Ortiz Jr. for Brad Cox. So that's 3 for Brad Cox in that race. The 9 is Asili, Joseph Ramos riding for D. Whitworth Beckman. The 10 is Stop the Car, Ben Curtis for Brendan Walsh. So he's got a couple in the race. And the 11 is Chip Huncho, Paco Lopez riding for Steve Asmussen. So none of the horses that have done a lot as 2-year-olds in this race, but we're just starting on the trek to the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, a lot of these horses just broke their maiden last time out, and they're stepping them up to run in this spot. Again, has a couple of horses. It's interesting. Pratt spending Saturday at the fairgrounds. I don't think he's riding for Cox. Well, certainly not in either one of the two big races. He took the second call, I guess, because Ortiz rode both of these horses for Sherry DeVoe first time out. He rode Golden Tempo and he rode Mesquite. And Ortiz, I guess, got first call because he's riding Gold Tempo. He rode both of them, so I guess he had his choice, and he went to Golden Tempo. And the same thing happened, by the way, in the 10th race, where DeVoe had two horses and Ortiz rode them both, and Pratt got stuck with the other one. So I don't know, but that's the way it is. You got to watch what's going on there.
I got to say, Jonathan, I think that Pratt's agent is a very smart person because, he's got pretty much locked in Chad Brown and locked in,
he rides a lot for Cox,
and for Cox too. So I mean, if he will accept second calls for Sherry DeVoe in some of the races, that I think will put him in a good spot with Sherry DeVoe if something comes up that he can, ride a number one horse.
She has 50 horses. She's going to have multiple horses in races. So, just because Ortiz picked one doesn't mean he picked the right one. They make mistakes too.
Yeah. And not only that, but I mean, we're talking about like if Brad Cox doesn't get horses for some reason to the big show, or Chad Brown, then he'll be sitting there with a live horse for Sherry DeVoe. So I think that's a good move there at the fairgrounds. Don't forget, there are 6 stakes races at the fairgrounds on Saturday, and I'm sure the Flavien Prat has pretty key horses and maybe 4 of the other stakes races. So we'll wait and see.
I'm sure. We don't have to worry about him making a living. He does pretty well.
No, you don't have to. Matter of fact, I told you, I texted you one day after Pratt had 4 wins on the day. He said, listen, and he kept paying more for every winner he was getting.
He paid $18 finally in the
last race. It went up to 18. I said, why even handicap? Just bet Flavien Prat. That's all.
You're
of course, that's in fun.
By the way, Ralph, that congressman that went to spend the day at the races and he got CAW'd.
Yeah.
I wonder if anyone in Congress is going to have any clue of what they're voting on when he presents this bill. I mean, people, unless you're involved, do you really know what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, you might get some senator in the state that has cattle saying, "Is this a cow? This is a cow, thing. What's a cow thing? You spelt it wrong. Spelled cow wrong."
It would be great if it passed, but I don't know. Is he going to get enough support for it? So
I would think. Well, it depends on it's all that give and take stuff.
They all have,
if he's an ode of favors from some of them and said, "Look, I'll vote on your bill," that you know how that goes. But I like the fact that at least they're taking note of it. But it took a senator to experience what we've experienced to even think of this.
We're lucky he was a pretty good handicapper because unless the horses that he bet didn't win, he would have never known because he was betting horses and getting a lot shorter price than he thought and they were winning, obviously. Otherwise, he wouldn't have even noticed.
Let's put it this way. If he's not a good handicapper, the guy who marked his program was.
Exactly.
All right, let's get started.
Which was probably more like it, Ralph.
Yeah,
to tell you the truth.
We don't want to start any controversies here now, so let's soapbox over. Let's get to the horse. Thanks for the 2 winners, by the way, on Sunday. That was good.
By the way, that Hazelwood, what a ride he gave that horse Bermudo at Aqueduct. Yeah. He shaved the rail. It was unbelievable. It was really, if you didn't get a chance to watch it, go watch it.
Watch the replay.
It really was. Anyway, let's go to Tampa, look at race number 8, 6.5 furlongs on the main track. And I like the number 3 horse in here, Unicycle. 4-year-old filly from the Mario Lopez barn. Mario Lopez is 3 for 12 at the meet. This horse makes her 3rd start of the meet. She won last time out. Sarah Hess re-rides 6-1 on the morning line. Full field of 12. I like number 3, Unicycle, to win today's 8th race out at Tampa Bay Downs.
All right, 8th race at Tampa Bay. The only scratch is the also eligible Cheerful Trout. So that'll leave a field of 12, and you like number 3, Unicycle. Number 3, Unicycle, a nice 6-1 on the morning line at Tampa Bay. 8th race, the 3 horse. And I know that you have limited amount of sheets today,
That's all
right?
we have today.
That's
Tampa.
right. That's the limited amount.
JONHARDOON.com. You can't get more limited than that, Ralph.
I know. Well, as long as you get a winner. A winner's okay, buddy. Thanks a lot,
There you go.
Jonathan, for the winners on Sunday. We'll keep the mojo going hopefully today in the 8th race with the 3-horse at Tampa, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thanks, Ralph. Stay safe and be well.
Okay, thank you, my man. You too. All right, so much for Jonathan. Now we move on to our next guest right after the break, so don't go away.
Thank you, buddy.
There are many families that need your help. I'm Mark Wahlberg, and I'm asking you to support the Tunnel to Towers Foundation in their efforts to deliver mortgage-free homes to catastrophically injured service members, Gold Star, and fallen first responders families with young children, as well as eradicating homelessness amongst our veterans. Everybody knows where the money's going. Every single dollar. God bless you. Please contribute $11 a month to support their efforts by visiting t2t.org.
Are you ready to lock in your bets and cash in on the games this weekend? Get weekly football winners from Alex White, Chris Andrews, and Vinny Malulo.
I did take the dog 3.5.
I'm going to stay with the Colts here. That's definitely going to be one of my plays.
If the Bears have turned the corner, they have to take care of business in this game.
Yes.
Tune in for behind-the-book perspectives you won't find anywhere else.
Well, if you're looking to bet the under, you're going to get a better number.
The wise guys are certainly not going to play the favorites.
I know if it hits 7, don't blink. Maybe that's what bettors are waiting for.
Every NFL matchup, every college game that matters, the spreads, the stats, and the smart money plays.
Is there a way to bet against both teams?
Get your winning edge with Football Frenzy, streaming on YouTube every Friday at noon Pacific.
All right, back on Race Day Las Vegas, and it's time on Wednesday, if it is, for Dwayne Colucci out at the Rampart. Dwayne, good morning.
Good morning, Ralph. How you doing today at the fabulous Southwood?
I'm doing fine, my man. How's things up there at the Rampart?
Pretty good, I tell you. A lot of exciting things going on. Playoffs are in full swing now. Great slate of NFL action there over last weekend. And, the horse racing now is starting to get on the road to the Triple Crown, which is a great thing. Kentucky Derby points start to be earned. Got the Pegasus World Cup over my shoulders. So, busy time at the resort at Summerlin, without a doubt.
Yeah, those NFL football games, all but one of them were really crazy, nutty type of finishes, exciting, edge of the seat type of, football right to the end. And of course, Monday night, a blowout of the Pittsburgh Steelers. But otherwise, it was one heck of a weekend for the NFL and their game. And now we move into the second round of the playoffs. And of course, we got college football. The college football championship comes up on Monday night between Indiana and Miami. So a lot of going on in the books, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely a net packed. And definitely we don't forget the race players, though, Ralph. You got to remember, huge card at Fairgrounds coming up like you spoke about. You still have Santa, Aqueduct in full swing. So we're really, really excited. And, we will have the video wall fired up and dedicated for horse racing. So come on out and see us at the Rampart. We're definitely the home of horse racing in Summerlin, if not all of Las Vegas. No slight to the South Point, but definitely we take care of our horse players. I love it.
Another thing, Dwayne, is the fact that Monday, since it's the Martin Luther King holiday, and Santa Anita will have a special holiday card, there'll be kind of a lot of interest that's not normally there on Monday and on a holiday early in the day with racing, and then you segue right into the Monday night, championship football game for college. So it's going to be a pretty neat weekend, and certainly a lively Monday coming up this Monday.
Yeah, it's great that Santa Anita has the racing going on, Ralph. And definitely, like you said, the crowd they stay, they enjoy themselves, maybe grab a little something to eat in between and then go right into the championship game. So it's good that it falls on a holiday and that Santa Anita does their usual part.
You're breaking up a little bit there, Dwayne. So before we lose you technically, why don't we get a pick from you today?
Yes, Ralph. Multi today at Turfway Park. We're multitask. That's what we're talking about between the football and horse racing. So, it's number 6 at Turfway Park. Owen Hardy trains this, and Rodriguez in the saddle, who's hitting at about a 25% clip. Some tough horses in this race. Resmi Red is in there. You have a couple others. The bottom horse is definitely going to be tough in Churchtown. So we're going to get a good price on this horse. And it just seems that he runs better on the poly track and, than he the rare. So I think this horse, Multitask, Owen Hardy, will have him ready off of the two traces. And I paid him run a lot on the poly track. But like I said, this is a very difficult card. You even have Ron Carson in that race as well.
Yeah.
So this is a competitive sixth race, optional 62.5 claimer. And I think Multitask could get the job done. Third off the layoff for Owen Hardy. And you got the right jockey in the saddle. He's been really riding well over at Turfway. So keep an eye on Mr. Rodriguez. He's going to win a lot of races as this continues on.
Okay, sixth race at Turfway Park. We're going to wrap it up with you because you have been going in and out technically, but I got what you got, and we got it on the screen. In the sixth race, number 6, Multitask, with Walter Rodriguez aboard, is Dwayne's pick in the sixth race at Turfway Park. Sixth race, number 6. Easy to remember. Thanks a lot, Dwayne, and hopefully we'll get a clear signal with you next week.
Yeah, definitely. It was a great weekend. Let's cash out this week.
You got it, my man. Thank you. All right, now let's go out to Rich Eng standing by. Richie, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Ralphie. Good morning, viewers. Good morning, listeners.
Richie, it was an exciting weekend of football as far as the NFL is concerned. I can't remember that many playoff games coming down to the wire, all but really one of them over the weekend. It was exciting football.
It was exciting football and great television. And I tell you what, Ralph, after our last weekend, it was amazing how many head coaches and how many offensive and defensive coordinators got fired.
Wow.
I think what's happening is that with the success of Ben Johnson with the Bears and Liam Cohen with Jacksonville, I think a lot of owners have this idea in their head now. If they hire the right guy, we can turn this ship around in 1 year, and it puts incredible pressure on these coaches and coordinators to get a job done. And I think it's kind of unrealistic to think that every team can turn their fortunes around so quickly.
Well, and the last one kind of brick to drop as far as firing and or quitting was after the Pittsburgh game. A retirement there, and of course, Aaron Rodgers will probably made his last start in the NFL as well. Yep. So there's a lot of turnover going on. And for all intents and purposes, there's a lot of coaches out there that guys can be interviewed for a lot of different teams because of the firing and the retiring. But all I could say is that maybe it is time there's a bit of a change coming on for the NFL. Maybe they should be looking for younger coaches as well.
Yeah, well, Loftus, you're right now. John Harbaugh is at the top of the list of many, many teams to hire after 18 years with the Ravens. Tomlin after 19 years with the Steelers.
Yeah.
The rumor out there is that he's got a television job lined up to be an analyst, kind of like Tom Brady when he jumped into the booth. So we'll have to see who the top coordinators are. I know one thing about the Raiders, Ralph. In just a handful of days, they went from one of the top job openings to now they're down the pecking order because so many other NFL teams have fired their coaches. The Raiders are going to have to search a little harder to find the right guy.
Well, don't forget that the Raiders do have the number 1 pick in the NFL draft coming up. And, I would have to say that it leans a little bit towards a quarterback that we need. And we all know who the number 1 quarterback is out there. So that could be a very big attraction for a coach. We'll wait and see about that. But certainly a lot of openings. The only thing about it is with the coaches like Tomlin already having a TV job, the regular people who are in the broadcasting industry are starting to get pushed out for all of these athletes and different coaches, et cetera, who are coming in and taking their jobs. So it's a never-ending battle, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's a domino effect. going on in that industry also. Let me head over to a horse, Ralph, because
Yeah.
then we can save some time
Sure.
for John and John.
Yeah.
Let's go to Turfway 7th. Maybe we'll set up a Siraco daily double. But in the 7th race, I like the number 4 horse, Next Up. This horse is run in stakes races, 3 of the last 4 starts. Now drops into class to an optional claimer 40 for Matthew Sims. This should be a really good spot to get a confidence builder. The 4 Next Up in the 7th at Turfway.
Well, in the 7th race, your pick number 4 Next Up, the 7th race, the 4, and I will do a Siraco double from Dwayne's horse in the 6th, the 6 horse, to your horse in the 7th, the 4. So the double will start in the 6th race, the 6-4 combination, and of course the win bet in the 7th race on your horse, the 4 Next Up as well. All right, thanks a lot, Rich. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Hey, thanks, Rob. Good luck, everybody.
All right, you got it. Final break. When we come back, John Lindo reporting from Southern California, find out what's going on down there. And, of course, Jerry Jackowitz hopefully will get up in time to join us for a little bit of maybe bet strategies. Don't go away.
South Point is also proud to provide a variety of relaxing amenities for the guests who want to be pampered. Soak up the sun and let your stress melt away in our lagoon-style paradise swimming pool. A relaxing getaway where you can bask in the desert sun and enjoy seasonal food and bar service poolside. And if you really want to escape, come to Spa Costa del Sur. From couple suites to a co-ed wet area, our spa caters to business and leisure travelers who want to unwind and elevate their senses. A visit to one of our spa's steam, sauna, or whirlpool treatment rooms will leave any guest feeling like they can take on the world.
The Race Day Las Vegas Show, the only exclusive daily local media racing information source in Las Vegas.
All righty, back on Race Day Las Vegas, and we're going to go out now to Southern California, where John Lindo is standing by on another beautiful day in Southern California, but no racing. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Ralph. Yeah, it's warm. It's going to be windy and, a little bit of summer-like conditions this week. I think temperatures will be in the 80s tomorrow and Friday at least this weekend at Santa Anita.
Now, John, let me ask you this. It's going to be Cal Cup Day on Saturday at Santa Anita?
Right. 9 races, all for Calbreds, 5 stakes races, including the Cal Cup Derby and Cal Cup Oaks. It's a great day for the breeders to celebrate, and we're trying to keep this California breeding industry going, taken a lot of shots the last few years. So it's important to get the Calbreds a chance to make some money out there and keep these breeders in business.
And also, John, am I correct in assuming there's more than one Cal Cup Day per year in Southern California?
There used to be the Cal Cup, well, in the January, February, in the winter, we used to have the Sunshine Millions Day with the Florida and California breds,
Right.
doing different things. And the Cal Cup used to be in the fall. So they moved the Cal Cup into this time of year. And they do some featured days for Calbreds in the autumn meet down at Santa Anita. But in general, this is the one big day, the featured day for the Calbreds.
Now, John, of course, it's essential that you guys keep the California breeding industry going on, because as we move forward in horse racing, we see that the tracks, really some tracks, all over the country, went from 5-day weeks to 4 and now 3-day weeks. You went from 9 races down to some tracks having 7. Aqueduct had 7 the other day, et cetera. And it seems like that they're kind of more concentrating on big event weekends or big event days than just the continuity of racing overall throughout the year.
Well, where we are in California, Calbreds in general make up about half the fields on an average basis throughout every racing day. So it's in a very important part of our industry. And you talk about the 3, 4, 5. We've got a 5-day racing week this week. And despite all the rain and the cancellations the first few weeks, we're seeing it's going to be awful tough to do any kind of 5-day weeks with our horse population. On Monday's holiday card, we've got one field of 8. And the rest of the field sizes that day are 6 or less.
Wow.
So that tells you that we just don't have enough horses on a regular basis to do 5-day weeks.
One wonders if they could write more races for horses that aren't Calabreds if they can get those horses to come to California.
Well, for the last few years, they've kind of been slowly exiting. I mean, if you have a Kentucky bred, you can run for those Kentucky bred infused purses, places like Kentucky Downs and Churchill. And one of those things, to be able to race there, you've got to have stalls. So a lot of our trainers keep at least a second string on the Kentucky circuit, so they have those stalls to be able to race there.
Also, John, in looking at that, and now they're trying to bring back a certain amount of racing in Northern California again, which will deplete the population of horses even more.
Yeah, there's a meeting today with the California Horse Racing Board, and they're going to talk about a proposal for, I think, 19 weeks of racing in Northern California, spread amongst 3 fairs, including Pleasanton, and I think I don't know if it's Ferndale, I think, and one other place, Red Bluff, I think is the other one. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens with that. But to be honest with you, Ralph, most of the Northern California horsemen have kind of already gone other places. And does it really make business sense to come in for, less than half the year? And the cost of racing in California, where are they going to get the purses? And is it going to dilute the purses in Southern California, which are better than they have been, but they're still not up to speed with some of the other circuits around the country?
And not to mention the fact that, the cost of living outside of the cost of racing, but the cost of living in California is rather on the high side as well.
Well, sure. And the workman's comp, the insurance it takes to keep these horses going, there's a lot of it. They're going to talk about it today. I think if logic prevails, it's something that probably doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but we'll see what happens.
Well, we'll get back to handicapping races because we do have 5 racing days coming up at Santa Anita. What's the Linda Report's schedule this week?
We'll do Santa Anita with that coast to coast pick 5 analysis every day, Thursday through Sunday. No Gulfstream on Monday, so strictly Santa Anita on Monday.
All right, you got it, John, and we'll be looking forward to a pick from you off of that nice winner on Sunday tomorrow as well. Thanks a lot, John.
You got it, Real. All right, good luck today.
All right, we're going to go to Jerry Jackowitz standing by. Jerry, good morning.
Good morning, Ralph.
Well, my man, do you have any words of wisdom for us? You got about a minute and a half.
Well, my words of wisdom are the same wisdom every week. Bet more on your overlays and less on your underlays. So that always remains the same. We have some nice racing coming up at both Aqueduct and Santa Anita. So I think you were talking about that with John, and I'm looking forward to putting out some nice sheets over the next 5 days. So.
Quickly, Jerry, when do you start concentrating or even looking at the 3-year-olds that are going to wind up going into these big prep races for the Derby and for the Derby?
Well, I try and look at I try and watch all the baby races, all the 3-year-old races coming up, and at Oaklawn and Fairgrounds, and of course at Santa Anita and Aqueduct and Turfway Park. I try and see all of the prep races, Keeneland, of course, but
don't forget
when
Gulfstream.
do I actually start handicapping is probably a week or so beforehand.
And of course, I know that you'll take a look at Gulfstream as well with the 3-year-olds down there.
Sure, Gulfstream.
Yeah. So in other words, then you'll compile information, but you're not going to start zeroing in until you get closer to the Kentucky Derby, which makes all the sense in the world with the way these horses could go in and out of the Derby.
Yeah, well, it's like any race in this regard, is that you have to combine your impressions of all the horses at the same time before you can make a qualitative judgment. If you start falling in love with a horse before you fall in love with give yourself a chance to fall in love with other horses, you end up falling in love with a horse, and you're really just betting. It's called confirmation bias. You're just betting your feelings that you started developing. A lot. I think that happened. That happened this year for me a little bit with journalism, where I just fell in love with that race where he overcame so much trouble at Santa Anita.
Yeah.
That instead of looking at it as a hard effort that might have knocked him out a little bit.
Right. Well, Okay, let's wrap it up. You've got a few minutes to go, a few seconds, I should say, to go. And we'll, of course, continue our thoughts about the Derby and all more of that tomorrow. Go ahead and say it, Jerry.
Have a great race day, everybody.